Okay, so hello everybody, and I know that these times are really tough for all of us, and especially for the fact that we had to move from one day to another, from physical teaching in the classroom to online. So I think that you relate a bit to this picture. I don't know, I relate a bit for the leg hairs as well, but mainly because we tend to do blah 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 to our students, and that's the screen, so that separates us from them, which is quite difficult, especially if you're Italian and you're used to work in the classroom. But I think that we can do it differently, and it's not said that students need just to listen to us speaking. So I went through this, which is the Picret matrix by Kimmons, and I think it's quite enlightening. So in this matrix, there are 2 points of view. We have the student's relationship to technology, which could be passive in case we just do blah, 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 but it can also be interactive and creative. Also, we have our own use of technology, which could replace the traditional practice, amplify it, or even transform it. So the activities we're going through in a moment, I've tried to avoid the passive relationship students have with technology, and mainly interactive and creative activities. So I'm sure that all the other teachers, all the other speakers will go through different topics, but as you can see from the slide, what I'm going to talk about is Instagram. So maybe you don't have an Instagram account, but I'm sure that your teenager students or young adult students you have, they do use Instagram. So because I think that they feel very comfortable with this tool, with this social media, I think that we can adapt our activities to make them use Instagram for an educational purpose. So are you ready for activity 1? I hope you are. So number 1 is Caption This. Caption This is an activity in which you can post a picture on Instagram, and you ask your students to caption it with a funny sentence, and then you can give a prize to the funniest one. This is a very nice one if you are practicing a particular vocabulary structure or grammar structure. And as you can see here, in this case, you can use so, enough, to, or such. I'd like to play with you the chat box. Caption this picture with a funny sentence, but please remember that you cannot be politically incorrect. So I give you 30 seconds to type your funny caption in the chat box. I like it, I like it. Shall I change the auto certification again? What's all the about? Can I go out already? I think, yeah, I think can I go out makes really sense these days. That's good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Very nice, very funny. And you can play this with your students or with your friends as well. All right, so ready for action 2. Activity 2. Activity 2 is infamous. Is about famous celebrities, famous people, celebrities that your students can follow on Instagram. So this is something that it was not possible some years ago to interact with a famous person. Now, usually, famous people go live and they have an audience, and I presume that your students can be an audience for them. So you can ask them to follow the celebrities, to check their stories, try to interact, comment their posts, and then after a week you can ask them about their experience. This is a very nice activity because this is really engaging for your students, because they can choose the celebrity they prefer. Activity 3 is an instant diary. When I thought about this activity, I thought about Anna Frank's diary. She was eaten somewhere and she wrote down her diary. But now things are different. So we have Instagram, so diaries are different. So they can do stories, and they can share stories on their Instagram. And the good thing is that they can see their stories again and again, because there is an archive. So in one here, they can still have their stories, and they can read what they've written, see the pictures they've taken. So that's very, very nice, because it's a long-term activity. Let's go to activity number 4. Activity number 4 is the pick of personal treasures. And in this activity, we have the chance to share things which are important to us through a picture. And students can talk to each other through questions and try to make guesses about why and these items are important to them. Okay, so number 5 is instant live interviews. This activity can be done also through Zoom or in the classroom. When learners have to work in pairs, they're going to interview each other. So especially, so it was going to be an interviewer and a famous person. So the problem here is that they cannot mention the name of the famous person. So when they are live and they talk to each other, the audience will listen to what they say, and they have to guess who the famous character is. Of course, as I said, you can use it through Zoom as well. So not via Instagram, but this is especially thought to make students feel comfortable with something that they usually use in their daily life. And activity 6 is all about assessment. I think that something which is quite problematic at the moment here is to assess your students' progress. So I think this is a very nice one. So there are different tools you can use. You can use a quiz, like you can see in the first picture. So I haven't seen my friends today. Or you can make them feel comfortable with an emoji, and they can grade how much they know about the present perfect. Another solution could be also, yes, okay, have you got questions about present perfect? And if yes, they can ask the question. So there is a variety, I would say, of tools you can use through Instagram to assess your students' progress. So now that you can't really assess them because you can grade them or you cannot mark them, I think this is a nice activity to see their progress. I think it's, I don't know how long I have, because I didn't put the timer. So Rob.
18 seconds. Go.
18 seconds. Okay, so I know that there might be problems for some schools with using social media, but what you can do is to ask your headmaster, your head teacher, to have your tool. Thank you.